What's up, everyone? With the Knicks off-season in full swing, one of the things they have to figure out is who are the main free agents that they plan to pursue. It's no secret that the Knicks need to upgrade the point guard position, which is why Lonzo has been one of the main guys linked to the Knicks all year. But another young point guard that has intrigued Knicks fans is Devonte Graham, and it was reported that the Knicks had interest in trading for Devonte Graham at the trade deadline. Graham was one of the top candidates for the 2020 Most Improved Player of the Year award. He was a second-round pick back in 2018, and last year, he had a breakout season averaging 18 points and 7 assists per game. Unfortunately for Graham, he lost his starting job to LaMelo Ball this year and found himself coming off the bench. He took less shots, and as a result, his numbers dropped, but he still thrived for Charlotte as a backup point guard. So in this video, let's analyze Graham and see how he would fit on the Knicks. But before we continue, please like the video and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a banger. Now let's get started. The biggest strength of Devonte Graham's game is easily his three-point shooting. On the year, Graham shot 37% from three. That's only slightly above league average, but when you realize that he does it on a super high volume 9 three-point attempts a game, 37% from three looks really impressive. Many of his three-point attempts come out of the pick and roll where he's a deadly pull-up shooter. Even with a hand in his face, Graham still knocks it down. If the guard doesn't fight over the pick or the big doesn't step up high enough, it's automatic. He also generates some of his pull-up threes out of isolation. He's got moves like the step back to instantly create space to get his shot off. And he's got unlimited range where he can legit pull up from 30 and still knock it down. While Graham takes a lot of his shots off the dribble, he's also a deadly shooter off the catch. On Charlotte this year, Graham shot 42% on catch and shoot threes. The Hornets often use Graham off the ball, and thanks to playing next to good playmakers like LaMelo Ball and Gordon Hayward, he received a lot of open looks. The Knicks definitely could use some better shooting at the point guard position. Elfrid Payton only shot 28% from three all year. Having a starting point guard that can hit threes at a high clip would improve the Knicks' offense and space the floor for Julius Randle to operate. The next strength we're going to talk about with Graham is his playmaking. At face value, 5.4 assists per game doesn't look that impressive, but that's because he was playing a much lesser role behind LaMelo Ball and Terry Rozier this season. If you look at last season when he was the starting point guard, Graham averaged 7.5 assists per game, which was tied for the 7th highest assist average in the entire league. Graham draws a lot of defensive attention, and it helps him to set his teammates up for easy baskets. In the pick and roll, Graham is excellent at feeding the roll man when the defense collapses on him. And he's not just a great facilitator out of the pick and roll, as he can make just about every pass in the book, whether it's finding guys running hard in transition, kicking it out to open shooters, or driving and dishing to the big inside. He's truly one of the elite playmakers in the game. For the Knicks, this is another area where Graham could be a huge help. Graham's ability to penetrate and throw lobs would definitely benefit guys like Mitchell Robinson, and it'll also help to relieve some pressure from Julius Randle, who took the bulk of the playmaking duties for the Knicks this year. The last strength we're going to talk about with Devonte Graham is his abilities in the clutch. Devonte Graham is one of the clutchest players in the league, and over the past couple of years, he's hit plenty of big shots in the fourth quarter to steal the Hornets a win. Knicks fans should be pretty familiar with Graham's clutch abilities after the game winner he hit on the Knicks last season. For the Knicks, having a guard that's good at hitting clutch shots would be huge for the team. While the Knicks did get the 4th seed, they often struggled with closing games. On the season, they had the highest defensive rating in the league in the clutch, but just the 15th highest offensive rating in the clutch. As good as Randle was all season, he was terrible at hitting game-winning shots. Graham could be the closer for the Knicks in crunch time, which should help them to get a lot more wins. Now let's talk about his weaknesses. Graham's biggest weakness is probably his awful finishing at the rim. Graham can get to the basket very easily thanks to his quickness and handle, but he's pretty poor at finishing at the rim once he gets there. In fact, he only shoots 42% within 5 feet of the basket on just 1 attempt a game. It isn't uncommon for small point guards to be poor finishers at the rim. Devonte Graham is only 6'1", and he isn't a high flyer, so he often struggles to finish over the trees once he gets into the paint. Graham is pretty good at pulling up from mid-range, He did shoot 45% from 15 to 19 feet this season. I do think he's a starting caliber point guard, but in order to get to an elite level, he needs to become a guard that can finish at the rim a lot better. And the last weakness I'm going to talk about is his age. Even though he's about to be a fourth-year player, he's a lot older than you think. Because he played 4 years at Kansas, he's already 26 years old. It turns 27 next season. 27 is pretty close to a player's prime, so it's possible that Graham may have already peaked, but it's also possible for him to still get better. I do think Graham has all-star potential, but he would have to improve mightily as a finisher at the basket, and he needs to get to the free throw line a lot more. His ability to create three-pointers off the dribble is on par with guys like Trae Young and Dame, but the difference with those guys is that they're extremely efficient in the paint, and they also tend to draw a lot more free throws, which is why they both average over 25 points per game. So Devonte Graham's upside is currently unknown, but at the very least, he could be a quality starter thanks to his excellent three-point shooting and playmaking. But it is important to note that at age 26, he doesn't have too many years left before he hits his prime. But anyway, guys, that's going to be the end of the video. What do you think of Devonte Graham, and would you like to see the Knicks sign him? Tell me in the comments. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed it and want to see more player breakdowns just like this. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.